All right, I'm on Antelope Island again. This is the Split Rock Loop Trail. Starts off as a double track here, but it gets to single track after a bit. There's a big brown thing up there I thought I just saw. I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully, or if I'm not wrong, hopefully it's a rock and not a bison. Okay, it's a rock. I just barely caught a glimpse of that on the way up, and I thought, oh no. Steep down, steep down to my right, steep up to my left. A bison on the trail. That's a bad mixture. Whew. You know, it's ranked as blue. I'm wondering if that's because of the switchbacks, because they're fairly sharp. And I guess there's bits like this, but not a whole lot. A little loose here. Okay, now I'm seeing the blue. There we go. Oh crap. Holy crap, that's super loose. This is kind of cool. So apparently, I don't know what kind of bird that is, but in the 1800s, somebody built this stone corral to try and capture the wild horses that were out here on Antelope Island. I wonder how many people know this. So I'm, in the middle of the Great Salt Lake right now on Antelope Island, but further south, maybe midway between here and St. George and to the west area, there's still, I wouldn't say plenty, but there's wild horses out there. I've seen them there before. And there's a couple of small herds of bison down there as well. I think most people think about bison, they think Yellowstone, which there's a lot of bison there, yes, but we've got these ones here on Antelope Island. There's a couple of herds in what I'll call mid-southern Utah on the west side, along with wild horses. So pretty cool to see them if you ever do. The wild horses especially were cool. Like, you could see just how wary, I guess. Like the group I saw, one of them was a stallion, and he was kind of staying behind his mares, watching us, making sure we didn't try to come close or anything. It was pretty cool. I say pretty cool because I was in my car. If I were on my feet, I would worry about how upset he might get at me. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff if you get out and start covering ground. Made it to the switchbacks on this trail. A little speed here. And I rub away his bike handles. One thing about riding in cold weather, I don't know if this is just me or if everybody's this way, but if I get speed and I don't have good enough eye coverage, man, it just makes my eyes water so badly. It doesn't have to be that cold really either. Any day outside's a good day. Whew. Unfortunately, I'm out here today on a time where we haven't had precipitation for quite a while, so the views are clouded by the inversion. The inversion's not great on this side of the island, but if you're on the other side facing Salt Lake City, it's significantly worse. So I guess I should be grateful for the view that I've got here. There's some bison poop. It's been a while since I've been on a trail that didn't have at least some decent berm on the switchbacks. I miss those, being able to keep more of your speed. Chunkiness there, a little more here. Bumpy through there, it's hard to get any kind of momentum between the bumps and that soft soil. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. This trail's got a little technical fun on it. Phew. Ooh. It's interesting. So back in the 80s, because there had been some just really, really wet winters, the Great Salt Lake got pretty high. In fact, the governor at the time, Governor Bangerter, put a pump project in to pump some of the water out so it didn't flood places. You can see where that old shoreline was out here. Kind of cool. Some loose, rocky, not that interesting double track. And now more uninteresting double track, and then this will climb back to the beginning of the trail. But yeah, that's it's got some, not a ton, but some good fun technical parts. You get a little speed here and there. This junction is all this double track stuff, so nothing too exciting, but I've ridden worse. Get a bit loose. There we go. Phew. Little rut. There's a little scenic track here I hadn't seen before. Instead of going down to that junction, cut over here.